All right, let's tackle this problem now. It's another sig fig problem. It asks us, what is the appropriate number of sig figs for the result or the answer of two numbers multiplied by one another? Now, if we're going to tackle this one, the first thing I'd like to do is just do the math. 15.234, and I'm going to multiply that by 15.208. And I'm going to record what my calculator gives me, okay? So I do that calculation, and my calculator spits out the following number. It's 231.678,672. Now, I'm not saying that that's the right answer. That's how you should report it, but that's what my calculator gives me. And now I have this problem, right? I got to figure out how many sig figs do I need to keep. Figure it out. Okay. If I'm going to figure this out, I need to know my rule of engagement. As I mentioned in the last problem, these rules are organized by mathematical operation. And the rule for multiplication and division states that your answer will contain or should contain the same number of sig figs as the least precisely known value. Okay, the least precisely known value. Or should contain the same number of sig figs as there are in the value, we'll say here multiplied, with fewest sig figs. So what you got to do is you look at the numbers that you multiply or divide and count sig figs up. So this first number has got 5 sig figs. The second number also has 5 because that 0 counts, doesn't it? It's to the right of both the decimal place and a non-zero number. It's between non-zero numbers that counts. So both of our numbers have 5 sig figs. So what my rule tells me is that my answer also should have 5. So what I need to do, I've got way too many right now, don't I? I'm going to need to round off. So this one will keep, this one will keep, this one will keep, we'll keep this one. And then I get to the 7 right here, right? And that's kind of where I have to start making a decision. I note that the next number is an 8, which is almost, close to 0.68, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round that up to 231.68. And all these remaining digits get tossed because I don't know that that's the exact number that's a result of this calculation. That's way too precise. It's an overstatement if I keep them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to report this value as my answer. And the appropriate number of sig figs for the result should be 5. No more than 5, no fewer. All right, now, both of these numbers, again, unfortunately have the same number of sig figs to start with. So I'm going to make up another problem just to show you how this could work in a different case, okay? I explained that one, but let me show you one more while I have you here, okay? Because again, application of the sig fig rules, you're probably going to have to do that on exam number 1, just being honest, right? And I want to make sure it's clear. So let's take, I say I take 15.234 and I multiply it by 3.1. That number sticks in my head. All right, so I do a very different calculation. Now I do 15.234 and multiply it by 3.1. What do I get? Now on my calculator, I'm going to say it spits out 47.2254. Now this number is just what my calculator reads. It is not paying attention to sig figs at all right now. But if I'm going to honor this rule for multiplication and division, and I would do this either multiplication or division, doesn't matter which mathematical operation, I would say that since 3.1 only has 2 sig figs, that is what limits my result, the least precisely known value. That's the one with the fewest sig figs. That's the one that limits your outcome and your result. So can I keep all these numbers in my result? No, absolutely not. And in fact, what I need to do is reduce this down or round this down only to 2. So my result that I report should be 47 when I round the 0.2 down. Okay, because it's less than 5. That's going to have 2 sig figs, and that's going to be my answer because it's limited by the least precisely known value. And this is the rule for multiplication or division. Doesn't matter if you do division, multiplication, you apply the same rule. You find the number with the fewest sig figs, and your answer cannot have more than that.